Hi guys, sorry about the delay. I know it's been a while, but I'm trying to get a course out ready for you guys to help with the codependency trauma and to heal from narcissistic abuse. So I've been working on a course that will be available soon. And I've just been really busy, so I apologize for the delay in videos, but on this one, what I'm going to go over is 8 signs that you might be in a codependent relationship, might be with a narcissist, and just some signs and some things to help you to sort of look at this and see if there's a solution for you. So some signs of codependency is, these are just some of them. There are many other signs, but one is being overly loyal to a fault, loyal where you will stay in a position to be hurt for the possibility of love and approval when your needs are not being met. You may have an exaggerated sense of responsibility for the actions of others. You may have very extreme fears of abandonment and maybe an obsessive need for approval, especially from your significant other. You might lack trust in yourself and suffer from some poor self-esteem. You might have an unhealthy dependence on relationships, even at your own detriment or cost. You might have difficulty communicating in relationship, especially if you think that there is a possibility of conflict. You might be a conflict avoider. You might value the approval of others more than you value yourself. You may trust their opinion more than you trust your own opinion. You might have difficulty identifying your feelings. You might have difficulty making decisions in relationships, and you may, defer to others, right? So these are some signs, and this is not comprehensive at all. And so, what's so bad about a codependent relationship? Well, a lot of times if you're in a relationship with a narcissist and you're in this enmeshed codependent relationship, it can be a problem with when one person is taking advantage of the other, like emotionally or financially or in any way, right? And if you are a codependent and you're constantly making excuses for other people and you're tolerating abusive behaviors or cheating or lying or gaslighting or manipulating, you're tolerating all of these behaviors because you think that that is the price that you have to pay in order to be in a relationship, like the subjugation of your own wants, needs, desires, and your needs being met. So often what you'll see in these dynamics is if you've been in a long-term relationship with a narcissist and you identify with having some of these codependent traits, what you might see is that you're literally doing the majority of the work in the relationship, and you're you've been managed down. There's been breadcrumbings to where you are now subsisting on breadcrumbs, on almost nothing, next to nothing. And you're getting nothing out of the relationship. A lot of times you're not getting any sex, you're not getting any approval, you're not getting any validation, you're not getting any honest communication. You're just really getting almost nothing out of the relationship. And then narcissists on some level are incredibly efficient because they have figured out how to give as little as possible to receive as much as possible. And the codependent is the one that is the pathological giver. Let me keep giving and giving and giving and giving, even though, I'm depleted, I'm exhausted, I'm just worked, right? So this is the kind of relationship that is not healthy. It's very toxic. This Ross Rosenberg calls it the human magnet syndrome, when a codependent and a narcissist are attracted to each other and they get into this dance of toxicity. And the codependent is let me read some more books, let me go to therapy, let me do let me find out more, let me fix myself, let me make myself better. And the narcissist is there's nothing wrong with me, I'm perfect, you're the problem, you're the identified patient. And of course, if you've been in one of these relationships, you know that it's incredibly invalidating and you feel like you're in a crazy making vortex, which you are. You're in the vortex. And remember the 3 phases of the relationship: idealization, devaluation, discard, right? So how that goes is, in the beginning, you feel like you just came home. And usually the reason you feel like you just came home is because you had probably a narcissistic parent. Not always. Sometimes it could be a sibling or an addicted parent, but you had some toxicity in your family. So on some level, when you meet a narcissist, it does feel like home, right? it's just not, if you didn't have a great childhood, you might want to question, when you feel really comfortable with a new person that you meet. So, you feel like you came home, and the narcissist love bombing is so compelling to people that have codependence, and they have that hole in their soul where they don't feel good enough, they don't feel worthy, they don't feel lovable. So the narcissist and all their flattery makes them feel like so good, because this person is validating them, right? Then during the devaluation phase, the narcissist sets the bar, the codependent meets the bar, the narcissist moves the bar, the codependent meets the bar, and the narcissist moves the bar. You can never satisfy them because these people are insatiable. They're never satisfied with anyone. So it's not actually personal. So try not to take it personally. We think it's about us, but it really isn't. They're never satisfied with anyone. They're in a perpetual state of dissatisfaction, right? So then the devaluation happens, and it can be slow and subtle over time, or it can be more drastic. And then nothing you do is right. You can't win. And you're dealing with word salad communication, manipulation. You're dealing with somebody who's likely cheating on you. You're dealing with gaslighting and stonewalling and silent treatment and all the tricks in the, dirty bag of tricks that the narcissist has, right? So then there's the discard, and the discard can be a cycle in the pattern of the relationship over and over and over again. You could be, idealization, devaluation, discard, right? Throughout the relationship, or it can be idealization, long, slow devaluation, and then discard out of the blue if they're like a covert narcissist or more like a sociopath. So yeah, that's what you have to look forward to. So if you're in one of these relationships, you might want to start setting a strategy for an exit plan. I personally was thinking about the vortex. If you're in the vortex during the discard phase where the narcissist is not leaving, they're not filing for divorce, they're not filing for separation, they're not making any concrete plans to leave, but they have stopped physical affection, they've stopped having sex with you, they've stopped communicating, they've stopped participating in the relationship, then that's the space where you're in the vortex. You're in narco land, narc world. It's a absolutely crazy making place to be. And if that's where you're at, then you are the one who has to decide to get off of the crazy train. You have to make the decision that you are getting off of the crazy train, and you are going to create your own closure, and you have to decide to go no contact and exit the relationship and do the appropriate legal filings if need be, because they're never going to do it. They will put you on the shelf for 10 years if they can. They're just, they'll put you on the shelf, they'll recycle you, they'll get somebody else, they'll recycle that person. It's just this absolutely insane vortex to be in. And it's horrible for the psyche. And yeah, a lot of people have a hard time relating to this because they're not like that. They actually bond with their partners when they spend time with them and when they invest into relationships. But what you might notice if you're the codependent, if you really step back and look at the relationship, you might see that you, in fact, were making all of the deposits into the bank account and they were not. And I mean, metaphorically, you were the one investing and they were not. So if you look back, you might see that that's actually the case, right? And in which case, of course, you're bonded. The more you put into something, the more you're going to care about it. And the less, they put less and less and less. They don't, the less they put in, they don't care about it. So you don't bond. If you don't put any investment into something, then there's no loss to you, right? You're just receiving, taking. So that's the thing about codependence, is really starting to look at that pathological giving. And where are you going to, giving is wonderful, but you better have some boundaries around your giving. Empathy is wonderful, but you better have some boundaries around your empathy. And that is the course I'm working on, is all about boundaries and learning how to set them. It's very practical, and also like how to heal from some of this trauma. So I hope you guys are doing well and practicing radical self-care. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.